You cannot be everywhere 24/7. We cannot man the entire Nigerian territory. Like I told you, 923 square kilometers. It's massive.
That's a candid admission, and it comes from the man in charge of Nigeria's territorial integrity. It's the reality, but for everyday Nigerians, it's a bitter pill to swallow.
Bitter, yes, and deadly too. Insecurity is claiming lives across Africa's most populous nation. Right now, as we are speaking, parents are afraid to send their children to school. Villages are bracing for the next bandit attack. Even city dwellers are looking over their shoulders.
Yes, and Nigerians are no longer suffering in silence. Protests have erupted in several cities. The questions are loud and clear. When will the abducted or your schoolchildren come home? When does this end?
Probably you want me to perform magic. I can't perform magic. It's a reality, it's an ongoing operation. We're making contact, we're discussing with those guys. We're doing so with everything possible, taking every step to ensure, one, that the kids are secured, two, that we're able to bring them out safely.
Right now, Nigerians are tired of promises. They are asking for results. Analysts say that the current strategy isn't working at all. It needs complete rethink.
And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is talking tough. He is promising a crackdown. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Right now, it is the criminals making the boldest statement, not the government.
Personally, there are certain places I can't go to at night now because of I'm not sure of what to expect. I don't know what to expect out there. Everything is very unpredictable, same as the Nigerian government.
You can see that the fear is everywhere. Sokoto, Katsina, Abuja not left out, Port Harcourt. The country's entire security architecture is being tested.
So today the question is direct. Can the Tinubu administration solve Nigeria's security crisis, or has it already failed?
And that is the conversation we are having today under the baobab. Hi, George.
Hey, Mimi.
Cheers a little bit. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, and you?
Fine, thank you.
I like the way you asked
Please
me how
let
I'm
me
doing.
just have a little bit of refreshment. How is the drink testing today, the under the
I
baobab
haven't
drink?
tested it, actually. Let me.
How is it?
I mean, I feel like, it's a bittersweet feeling.
Yes, a bittersweet feeling. I can imagine.
Yes.
And I think it should also be the feeling that everyone listening from back home should have at the moment.
Of course, a lot to digest. And by the way, to everyone listening or watching, welcome. You are part of this conversation, and don't be shy.
And talking about conversation, we want to hear from our viewers and listeners later what they think about the topics that we are discussing. And today, we are going to be having Nigeria's Honorable Minister of Defense. So keep your questions.
Yes, we want those questions to come through. And last week, Mimi, we tackled, the chaos within the PDP party and the possible, fronting of former President Goodluck Jonathan. I was so intrigued by the comments that came through.
Those who are out there watching and listening, they took the conversation to just another level. Like Odiono Mbini wrote online and particularly on our YouTube saying that Goodluck Jonathan is better than what we have today. He is a strong candidate that other contestants are afraid of. And if he's allowed to contest by INEC, he will be the best to salvage Nigeria at this point in time.
Yes, and also I find Fade 456 comment very sharp, and he said, tackling Nigeria's complex insecurity requires a massive shift from purely reactive military operations to a whole-of-government approach. Military force alone is not enough.
And that really nails it, that particular comment, because today we are going deeper into the problem of insecurity in Nigeria. But before that, hello, this is Under the Baobab.
We make Africa's biggest stories and complex issues personal.
And we do so every Friday of the week. We talk to policymakers, we talk to politicians, all those who are shaping Africa's governance, policy, politics.
Our guest today is General Christopher Gwabin Musa, Nigeria's Minister of Defense. He shapes a national defense policy. He advises the president, and he commands response also. Maybe.
It's an honorary Minister of Defense. Please, that title is very important, George.
Yes.
And here's why he is on a hot seat today. Mass abductions used to be something that, we used to only hear from central parts of Nigeria, northeastern parts of Nigeria, but that's not the case anymore today because it's spreading across the national territory. Even people in Abuja are feeling Port Harcourt, cities like Port Harcourt, Katsina cities in Nigeria are feeling like it's coming closer by the passing of each day, and the government is really not doing enough to tackle the problem of insecurity in Nigeria.
And we can see this through the protests that we've witnessed in streets in different states of Nigeria. And the question that is emanating from all these protests is, the president came with a promise that insecurity and tackling insecurity was at the top of his government's priority.
Right.
It is 3 years down the line now, Mimi. The president is campaigning for a re-election.
Right.
But the situation is getting worse.
I like the fact that you said he's campaigning for re-election. I'm just wondering, what would be his campaign message? And has his government or administration failed the people? That is the first question that I put to the Minister of Defense.
There's nothing stopping us. It's just that the criminals seem to be spreading because, again, like I've told you, our borders are empty. Sahel is open. Libya has gone back. So we have a lot of people and the influx into Nigeria. A lot of them feel that Nigeria is rich. When you come to Nigeria, you will make money. Whatever it is they want to do to make money, that is what is aggravating those issues.
So is the president aware that the borders are open? Do you give him security briefs? And how often do you do that?
Everybody knows. Every country is dealing with this issue of border. It's not only Nigeria. It's just, unfortunately, we have a population of over 250 million. So it's a massive country. You know, it's just like playing football. When the goalkeeper is able to stop so many goals, nobody reasons. It's just that goal that goes in that people make noise about. We have been achieving so many successes all over. But because of these few kidnappings here and there, noise is being made about it, and we understand, and it's very painful, it's very difficult. I feel for the parents, I feel for the country, because this is my country. I feel extremely very bitter.
You have been at the center of Nigeria's security architecture, first as Chief of Defense Staff and now Minister of Defense. If an ordinary citizen asks you today, what has improved since General Musa took charge? What would be your honest answer?
The terrorist attacks have drastically reduced. What we have now, more of kidnappings. And normally, if you look at the trajectory of crime, it starts with petty crime, starts with kidnapping, goes into the terrorism, into insurgency. And then when you hit it very hard and you're able to succeed, it now comes back to kidnapping. So we're into that stage of back into kidnapping now, because that's the easiest way to make money. And I can tell you again, it also has to do with social issues on ground. People think when you just make money, then you are important.
General, let me ask you this personal question. Are officials more protected than ordinary citizens? And does that distance make it difficult to tackle the crisis because you feel like you are not directly affected?
Everybody is a victim.
Including yourself?
As long as any Nigerian is arrested or killed, any Nigerian is kidnapped, abducted, killed or something, we are all victims as Nigerians, as Africans. So I would like us to look at this as an African challenge. I'm sure you are aware that it is not only Nigeria that's facing this issue. Somalia has its own issue. Kenya has its own issue. Mozambique has its own issue. And we have even addressed the UN and have told them it's not only an African challenge, it's a world challenge that we're going through.
So if the government is in charge and not powerless in the face of the current insecurity, what explains the fact that some Nigerian victims still have to negotiate directly with the bandits to get their family members released?
You know, it's a thin line between payment and not payment, because again, your family member is abducted and then you want to free him, and then you pay money and they use this money to buy more arms and then come in. And it comes again to the influx of small arms and light weapons across Africa. Where are they getting their weapons from? Because these weapons, we don't manufacture them. They come from outside into Nigeria. A lot of the terrorists, when we get them, you find them with foreign currency. We believe they have outside sponsors. This is where the international community should come in. So I don't want you to have this impression that it's happening in Nigeria because nothing is being done. It is happening everywhere. And if we don't make sure that we curtail them holistically, it's going to affect every country. I can assure you that.
Yeah, and you see, Mimi, this is where I agree with him that insecurity is not just unique to Nigeria. Many countries are affected, and we've reported widely about that. But you know, trying to tell a parent who's, you know, lost the kid or the kid has been abducted, you know, it can be so difficult for them to contemplate or even understand.
Exactly. And you are elected because people believe that you can solve their problems, including the problem of insecurity.
Yes.
They are not waiting for an honorable Minister of Defense to tell them that, look, bear with us because this is a general problem across Africa. They want solutions. They don't want, you know, excuses. And I think that it's time for us to
take a breather.
Of course, under the baobab, we do that a little bit. And while we are sipping our under the baobab drink, let us get to the rapid fire questions segment and get to know the minister on a personal level,
On a
right?
personal level. So let's begin. Is General Musa guided by a strict schedule, or does he go with the flow?
I mean, I've been in the military for almost 40 years, so you can imagine my lifestyle. It's about regimentation, it's about discipline.
And are you a strict 4 a.m. alarm type of a person, or do you ever sleep until the sun is up?
Man, look, I'm sure you don't want to know my schedule. I barely sleep.
And since you barely sleep, when the alarm goes off, what is the first thing you check? Security briefings or your family?
I wish my wife was here to answer that, because I know she's always complaining that I'm putting more effort and making sure Nigeria is safe.
And at home, because you are a general, are your pajamas also perfectly ironed and folded, or do you wear a comfortable old t-shirt like the rest of us?
I'm not a pajamas kind of person. I just make sure I'm comfortable while sleeping.
At night, are you the kind of person who sneaks downstairs for a midnight snack, or do you follow a strict routine?
And I'm not sure if this is relevant to, whatever it is we're saying. The good thing is that I try to get some rest as much as possible as a human being.
When you are at home, are you still the general, or you are completely outranked by Madame Musa?
Well, in Nigeria, if you're a general, your wife is a field marshal. So at home, she is the field marshal in the house.
And if we are being real, are you the soft-hearted dad who lets the children get away with things, or you are very strict?
No, like I said, I always strike a balance. I mean, we're all human beings. We're bound to make mistakes. So we understand which ones are mistakes, we correct them, and we understand which ones are deliberate. Those ones we don't take lightly.
And if you are watching a movie with Madame Musa, are you sitting through a romantic comedy to make her happy, or are you secretly wishing it was a war documentary?
For every home, as long as the madam is happy, everybody is happy. So it's good you make her happy, you make sure that she remains very happy.
And if someone brings a tray to your room, is it a spicy suya or mild kilishi?
My wife is a chef, so she's very good at it. So I get very good meals. That I can assure you.
And finally, if you had never entered the military or defense, what would you be doing right now?
I'll be in my farm. I'm a farmer, so I love farming.
So if you want peace under the baobab, you have to make me happy.
It has come to that, huh?
It was just between him and the wife, the field marshal in the house. George.
Okay.
So great line of questioning there. Let's address the elephant in the room.
Yeah, sure.
Nigerian authorities have arrested at least 8 people for spreading misinformation online. So the government or the authorities have also threatened that those who continue to spread misinformation are going to pay for it.
Yeah, and in particular to as regards to the kidnappings, right? And I know you'll agree, and also people listening and following this particular episode, that are these arrests really about, misinformation, or are they about silencing the public anger? Because the real question hasn't, gone away. The question is, when will the 46 pupils and, teachers who were kidnapped at the school in Oyo be released?
That's a fair challenge. It took place on the 15th of May, and something that shocked the entire nation. We saw a lot of celebrities.
They were caught off guard.
Yeah, celebrities across Nigeria reacting, and that was even before my birthday. Imagine waiting for your birthday to come, and then everywhere is in chaos. And, people used to think before that they were safe. People in Abuja didn't see this coming. They used to hear about mass kidnappings.
They
in
thought
schools.
it is just
it's far away, but
yeah.
it's coming closer to home. And people thought before that this was never going to be the case in Nigeria, but it's becoming their reality on a daily basis.
Yeah, and you see, security analysts now call kidnapping a soft target business, low risk, high reward, and economic desperation is fueling, these ongoing cases of kidnapping.
And adding to that is lack of, permanent security presence in some interior rural communities where we have the bandits really thriving. Security is completely cut off. So there's also the vast nature of some of Nigeria's forests. The borders sometimes can get porous, and the armed groups are moving so freely on motorbikes. They would storm schools, take away pupils, take away children. They would just freely, they'll be operating freely as though there's no security around them.
Yeah, and add to that, there is, the contentious issue about the ransom, and the government having a very hard stance on it, that the government of Nigeria does not negotiate, with criminals. But tell that to a parent, and a parent asked for any amount of money they would want to give to the kidnapper of their kids, only for their kids to be returned home. And then communities pay a lot, and intelligence agencies say kidnappers have collected at least $18.5 million in ransom over the past decade, Mimi.
That's a lot of money, and these are just numbers that we have official, but we we don't have the unofficial figures yet. What would the parents do at this point in time? Imagine if your child is kidnapped and they are showing you a video of the child crying and saying that give us 5 million or 10 million naira before your child is released. What are you going to do as a parent?
I mean, I wouldn't heed to the government, stance that no one should pay ransom. I would go for everything to ensure that my child is released.
Because the government seems to have, you don't have faith that the government can do anything, you know?
Yeah, definitely. But of course, your unending question is, when will the 46 kids be released?
Exactly. And what did General Musa have to say about this? Let's get his response.
This group that kidnapped the children in Oyo State are actually using them as human shield, and they're using them as a bargaining chip that we must release the commanders. Their own commanders are with us, and they've threatened that once we take any force towards them, they will kill the children. And so that's why you see the stalemate, or else we'll have stormed the place already.
Are you therefore saying that the government has to keep waiting until the conditions are right before these children are rescued?
No. Like I said, I can't actually tell you online what we are doing because saying is like telling them exactly what we're doing. It's a fluid system, so all aspects have to be taken, both the kinetic and the non-kinetic, to ensure that once the kids are secured and they were able to bring them out safely. I've met the family members and I've seen how painful it is. One can always feel, we have children. You know how it is when your child is taken or when your loved one is taken. The terrain there is so thick, and they're using the forest reserve to hide under, so that even when you are using aircraft to want to carry out surveillance within the area, finding them from the top is a bit difficult. So we have to use other means to be able to track them, and we're doing that all together.
We have seen videos circulating online from the camps of the bandits and armed groups. Are you also saying that these armed groups have better security and technical capacity than the Nigerian government, and that is why the government has not been able to locate them?
You see, one thing people should understand is that, one, asymmetric warfare is a very delicate and very dangerous warfare. Turkey has been fighting such thing for 40 years. America has gone to Afghanistan, and how did they now? So it's a very difficult operation. And remember, as a third world country, we don't produce most of the equipment that we need. We're trying to use the much we have to get what we can. But the terrain, and Nigeria is about 923 square kilometers. That area cuts across Burkina Faso, Benin Republic, into Nigeria, into Cameroon. Is a massive area. So, people will want to look at it as it's just one forest reserve. And no, even finding out where people are within those areas is not easy. It's a very difficult operation, I can tell you that.
You are describing the landmass, the terrain, and the equipment challenges. It sounds like Nigeria's defense system is struggling. Is it fair to describe the defense corps as a little bit helpless in the face of the current situation?
I'm sure my response to you did not show that we're helpless or we don't have solution to it. All I'm telling you is that there are a lot of challenges, and this is reality. We wish it never happened. It's a very sad and unfortunate incident that shouldn't have happened. And let me tell you, in everything, the attacker has the freedom to choose the time and place and when to do the attack. You cannot be everywhere 24/7. We cannot man the entire Nigerian territory. Like I told you, 923 square kilometers is massive. So we're doing everything possible to see that we see, and considering that the risk of the children too. If it was conventional warfare, is an issue that we can map where we think they are and destroy the whole place. But we can't do that because these innocent souls are there, so we have to be mindful of what we're doing within those areas, not to also harm them in dealing with those criminals.
Now, General, parents send their children to school, not to battlefields. If a parent could ask you today, can you, as the defense minister, protect their child? What would be your response?
Of course, very well, we will. Like I told you, it's an unfortunate thing. It could happen to any country, and it does happen to countries. Kidnappings happen everywhere. We're taking it in strides in ensuring that we secure the lives and properties of those children. They shouldn't be harmed for whatever reason. But I can tell you the government is doing everything possible to ensure that it doesn't happen and to be able to free these individuals.
You have said that kidnappings happen everywhere, including in neighboring countries such as Cameroon. But Nigeria's situation is peculiar because mass abductions have become a serious problem across the national territory. Can you give a clear timeline for when some of these victims will eventually return to their families?
Probably you want me to perform magic. I can't perform magic. It's a reality, it's an ongoing operation. We're making contact, we're discussing with those guys. We're doing everything possible, taking every step to ensure, one, that the kids are secured, Two, that we're able to bring them out safely. I think those are the critical aspects, and those are the things I think we should actually worry about. I can't give you full details because I'm sure when this thing is broadcast, they will also be listening so that they see if we can give them any information that will be to their own advantage. But one thing I want this to, in case they are listening, is for them to know that what they are doing is wrong, and they're going to pay for it. And we'll do everything possible to ensure that we secure those children and bring them out.
Quite interesting there, Judge. When I'm listening to the minister, I'm feeling, a little bit tense because I can't imagine how the parents who are going to be watching this are also feeling. I mean, if you have your child somewhere in captivity, and listening to the minister, and you're not sure when exactly your child could return home, you feel a little bit helpless. Experts also agree that Nigeria needs a layered some sort of strategy, because physical security intelligence is failing. A lot of measures that the government is putting in place is not actually working, and community involvement is also very important. Economic alternatives also could be another strategy. And, strict no ransom enforcement. I don't know how that can work. But if the other strategies work, this one would, no ransom enforcement would be necessary, right?
It not be necessary, but I mean, they need to have a conversation about that, of course, And, practical fixes, things like early warning networks and permanent security at facilities that matter. And I'm talking about schools. It's a right to the kids. And if you feel that it is insecure, you wouldn't send your child to school, right, Mimi? And I think this reminds me of, a situation in Kenya, Garissa, that is in northern Kenya. There was a terrorism attack, and I saw the government proactively, ensuring that they installed some semblance of, security within the school, and the university was reopened. I mean, with this installation of security and the government proactively working towards, changing things around, I think it's something that Nigeria can borrow from.
Right, and when there's insecurity for a very long time, it becomes a war economy because many people are benefiting from it. We have the same situation in Cameroon's English-speaking regions where it's been going on for like 10 years now, and it's been, people have been kidnapped for ransom on a daily basis. And people are questioning also, are there people in government benefiting because the state of insecurity in the country is not getting better? That is the question
you would understand people having such questions, maybe.
Right, of course. And you've also cited the case of Kenya. And the question actually is, he's also said that Nigeria is not the only country plagued by insecurity. So why is Nigeria not copying that example from Kenya that actually really worked?
I mean, that's a very good question. And I would also further push it forward. Like, what is their plan within, incorporating the community? It's very critical because security starts with us, Mimi.
Right.
And when you find the community actively involved, then it makes the work of the government even much easier.
And talking about community involvement, let us also hear what Nigerians themselves think. Our correspondent in Nigeria, Chinaza Jennifer and Ben Shemang, Abiodun Jamil, hit the streets to ask ordinary Nigerians what they think about the state of the country's insecurity. Are they satisfied by government's efforts? Let's hear them.
Every community should know who is who. This banditry doesn't start today. They have strategy. They have people who give them information. And it's not a day work.
No Nigerian will tell you like 100% they are safe right now. We need to look at advanced technologies. Take a thorough information about what is happening across our borders. My two brother-in-laws were kidnapped. At that time, I was 8 months pregnant with my third baby. And then these bandits now just attacked my in-laws' house and they took my two siblings in boxers. We did not have any conversation with them until like a month. They were demanding 100 million. Which I think if the whole of my building, my family, my mother-in-law's building should be sold, it wouldn't be up to the amount they are asking.
I felt safer when I was younger because I think there was a better government and the security was more tightened. Personally, there are certain places I can't go to at night now because I'm not sure of what to expect. I don't know what to expect out there. Everything is very unpredictable, same as the Nigerian government.
We as a person, as an individual, as a Nigerian, we need to join hands together with government. And we know ourselves. Each town, everybody should save their area and know who is going out and who is coming in.
Of course, the highlight from what we've heard from Nigerians is that they feel they need to also be part of solving the solution, and it's that holistic, constructive outlook on how to solve this particular problem. And earlier on, you'd mentioned that Nigeria needs to learn; they need to borrow a leaf from other countries like Ethiopia, Kenya, Rwanda, and one thing is for sure, they've focused more on prevention, public participation, and tight border control. I think Ethiopia is doing quite well, the same as Rwanda and Kenya.
You've talked about, tight border control, and another question that we can ask is, why aren't local communities fully integrated, with multi-agency response, like we are seeing in other countries that you've just mentioned? And that is a question that I put to the general as well.
Well, like I said, as humans, we can never stop evil from happening. I'm sure even the country where you are in, they also have their own challenges. It's just that the percentage is higher here. And it has never been like this. Nobody had ever thought Nigeria would get to an extent that we get to this kidnappings and all this bombing and all these issues. I can tell you the armed forces has done so well. The armed forces of Nigeria has, remember, we were in Liberia, we were in Sierra Leone, we were in Tanzania, we have brought peace to other countries.
You have spoken about the role of the armed forces, but let me zoom in on you, because you were Chief of Defense Staff before becoming the Minister of Defense. Did you see these threats coming, and what did you do to stop it?
No, I think we did well. 2024, we had the best year. We had the lowest attacks, the lowest kind of this and all these things. But like I said, we have a trend in Nigeria, unfortunately. Whenever there is an election coming, especially the electionary year, there's always a spike on crime and criminality. Some individuals might want to push so that to show that the country is ungovernable, the government is weak, and they are better alternative. You can't rule that out.
Have you arrested the people involved, and who are they? Who are these politicians you're talking about?
Some sponsors have been prosecuted as we speak. Most of these ones that are bringing very terrible rhetorics who have been met, and have told them the importance of them to speak positive about whatever it is that is happening. Because the more you encourage these guys, especially on social media, the more they get more recruits. I mean, you can't want to lead people and then you do things that will kill them just because you want to be a leader. We have those ones that are giving them information, those ones giving them logistics and all these things to ensure that we stop them. Because those are the people that are making them continue to strive.
We can mention challenges time over and again, but as we've kept on questioning, how will we solve the situation? Which
is a very good question, because we want to find out what are organizations like the African Union doing. ECOWAS is also Nigeria. Yes. It's the headquarters of ECOWAS. Yes. What is ECOWAS doing about, the state of insecurity in Nigeria? Is it capable to address some of these issues, or is it failing also the people, not just Nigeria, because we have insecurity in the Sahel, we have insecurity in Chad, and also in Cameroon. Are these regional organizations also failing the people?
And how does the minister see, what is the strategy in terms of solution?
I will not speak for the minister. Let's hear him.
We are looking at it. That's why I said the use of technology is very, very, very critical to our success. We're walking around. We wish we had satellites, a dedicated satellite that will help us to be able to zoom and do all those things. We are working with international organizations to make sure that we have those abilities to be able to do this. So it's so much. And, issues of funding is another challenge. There are other issues that have to be dealt with. So, but the important thing is for every country in Africa to stand in and make sure that their borders are secure. If we do that, we'll help each other. And I think that's critical. And we must work together as a team.
So Nigeria's security situation has not gotten any better since late 1990s. And the question a lot of people are asking is, are the leaders we are electing doing enough to secure us? What is the best strategy to secure the vast territories that the minister is talking about? Is it regional cooperation? Is it proactive intelligence? Is it community involvement? Those are some of the questions that you out there are asking. Those are some of the questions that we here are also asking under the baobab.
And of course, tell us what you think about this. And I can't go without, giving a huge shout out to our community that drove, last week's debate. And this is a sure, promise that when you engage with us, we will sample your views and we take them very seriously.
Because you are the heartbeat of Under the Baobab. We appreciate all the comments that we see coming in, every day. We see you. We also challenge you because we want you to tell us about how some of these problems that we are addressing under the Baobab can be tackled? What are your suggestions? How do you feel about the topics that we are covering every day under the Baobab, particularly this one on Nigeria?
Well, for more honest, raw, unfiltered conversations on African politics, society, and sports, hit the subscribe button on DW Africa YouTube channel.
And catch the full audio episode on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yes, until
It's like you don't want to say goodbye, George.
Could be, but until next week, keep the conversation alive under the Baobab. I am George Okachi.
And I am Mimi Mefune, who is always a pleasure, George.
You want us to reveal our perspective again?
Yes, we should. Bye.